Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. I met Yael about a year ago, and I got very excited by her vision and by her dynamic, and I think we all should applaud her for putting this together. Maybe we should give her. And she asked me if I want to give a speech, talk a little today. So I said, I don't know what to talk about. She said, but talk about your experience. I'm a high-tech lawyer. I represent many companies and many venture capital funds. Eyal Waldman was speaking. I was involved with setting up Mellanox back in '99. We just went back on the dates from '99. So that's what I do. So I'll talk very briefly, not more than 5 minutes, about some things we've seen in our practice, and then I'll open it to the panel. So 2015 was a great year for the Israeli high-tech. A lot of statistics, all of them are phenomenal. I think it's maybe the best year since the 2000 boom. 708 transactions, over $4 billion invested in high-tech companies, over $9 billion in exits, 104 transactions. These are all record numbers. 8 IPOs and 96 M&A transactions. This is one thing I just want to show. This is a very interesting statistic. Only 8% of the Israeli companies go public, and 92%, over 90% are sold. And this is an interesting statistic. I think in other countries it's not this way. And $1 billion were invested by Israeli venture capital funds. So $1 billion is from local VCs. $3 billion is from non-Israeli VCs, which shows you the strength of Israel, how strong we are in getting money from all over the world. So it was a great year, and I'm sure we could talk about it a lot, but I want to raise the question, is everything so bright and shiny? Is everything so great? And I think the two things I want to raise for today's discussion, and obviously they will be followed in other panels, is one, what's going on with the emergence of new large Israeli companies, not just startups, but real multinational companies, and how are we doing in maintaining the Israel's competitive advantage in innovation and R&D. And there the story is not as shiny as the startup scene. So there are a lot of statistics, but what we did is we went through and we looked at the IPOs of the last 5 years. And if you look at the IPOs of the last 5 years and the market cap of the Israeli companies which went public, only one company became a multi-billion-dollar company, which is Mobileye. And there's other companies which are close to 1 billion, or maybe a little above 1 billion, but still waiting for the next multi-billion-dollar company to emerge out of Israel. And we'll talk about it later, how to make it happen. If we look about the innovation, so this is from Bloomberg. There's an innovation index ranking all the countries in the world based on all kinds of metrics. Israel is number 11. But when you look deeper into the numbers, and I hope you can see it because it's somewhat small, Israel is number 1 in R&D. But when you go down to manufacturing and productivity, we're very low, we're very weak. If you look at patent activity, we're average. So we're very strong in R&D, but we don't have the skill set in the other sets, and this is something which is lacking. If you look at the OECD report about R&D expenditure, so Israel is still number 2 in the world. We used to be number 1 in the world in R&D as a percent of the GDP. Korea surpassed Israel now, so Korea is now number 1 in the world in investments. Is percentage of GDP. And if you take it further, since the Israeli per capita is only $35,000 and other countries are over $50,000, the dollars per person in Israel is actually lower. So in the US, maybe the percentage of the GDP is lower, but the per capita is much higher, so they get to a higher number. So we're losing something on the competitive advantage on the investment as a percentage of our R&D. In the ranking of the Global Innovation Index, Israel went down from place 15 to place 22, 22nd place, which is still good, but better than our soccer team, but Still, we want to be better than that. And last but not least is something that the finance ministry published this week. Probably talked to Yael, and they know there's a big conference, so they need to publish it just before the conference. So this is a free translation from the finance minister weekly report from this Monday or this Sunday. And basically they say that the high-tech revolution, which began in the 1990s, resulted in fast growth in R&D investment, employment, and high production, and contributes significantly to the growth of the economy. And this is the important point. However, in the last few years, slowdown in high-tech activity is evident, except for activity in startup companies which are VC-backed. This slowdown has diminished the standing of Israel as a leader in innovation. The challenges facing the high-tech sector focus on the availability of professional workforce. This is from this week's finance minister, and I think it summarizes the issues facing us in 2016 and beyond in a very good way. So thank you again, and welcome to Tzav Shmone to Barcelona. Thank you.
Okay. Our next speaker is celebrating, actually together with us, 8 years of Tzav to Barcelona. But also 30 years of diplomatic relationship between Israel and Spain. And although we've hosted many ambassadors here at Tzav, Brazil, US, China, Canada, Ireland, Sweden, and a few more that I forgot. This year we obliged to the request of the American embassy, who eventually had to cancel as well, but they asked us not to invite more ambassadors as we do every year because it complicates their logistics. Next year, everyone are invited. I would like to invite the first ambassador to join Tzav to Barcelona in 2009. The Spanish embassy is joining forces and helping us to make this success and help you succeed in Barcelona. With no further ado, His Excellency Ambassador of Spain to Israel, Fernando Calderera Soler.